Hi there. Good evening. It's Sammy here at Sammy J Stitches. And once you watch my video, you will see that this intro looks a little different than the rest of the video. And that's because at the last minute, I decided to change this from a vlog to a plan video. You'll see here in a minute. So I just wanted to introduce myself and tell you that it is Sunday, July 29th. Please enjoy. It is the first day of the Jessie Marie Does Stuff Turns 5 sale. I think that's how that goes. I am going to post this on Instagram. I just haven't gotten to it yet. So the premise, it's 5 days because she's turning 5 years old, or her channel is turning 5 years old, and so Jessie Marie Does Stuff, JMDS, and then the 5th day is kind of whatever you want. So I went through my whips last night. That's how on the ball I am, and I don't really have anything that qualified well for the J. So in true Jessie Marie fashion, so you know it fits. That's just one more, right? So anyway, in her fashion, I had to come up with some elaborate reason why my project works for the first day, even though it does not begin with J. And I'm going to call it Jessie, because then I've got my J. And when I picked this project, it's because especially it's a multiple piece project, and the first piece fits her very well. So I chose, let me find it, because I actually have the actual pattern here instead of, you know, Lizzie Kate's Living with Charm series. It's going to look something similar to that when it's finished. I apologize now for the lighting. Nothing I can do about it. So, but I'm working on the first piece, and the first piece is Dream. And if there is a dreamer out there, if there is a person who can invent a story that when you go to sleep at night you would want to dream about, or has big dreams that she's constantly having to change to fit real life, it is Jessie Marie. So I worked on Dream from the Lizzie Kate Living with Charm series. So I didn't get much done. It was kind of crazy last night, but I did get more work done on it, and that's what's important. So that is where I'm at. That is the beginning of the D. And why didn't I make it for the D day, you ask? Because I have something for that worked. I gotta remember what it was. But anyways, it was something I hadn't worked on, something that started, I know what it is. We'll get there in a second. And it's actually had a D in it, so. Plus, the dream describes Jessie. So, there's that. I really like the way it's coming out. I think I probably could have done 1/1 on this fabric, because I want to say it's probably a 36 count. But I started 2/2, so I kept with it. Yay. But I do really like it. And I like this fabric. Who knows if they're going to actually work together, but I'll make it work. I'll make it look good. So, that is what I worked on this morning, July 29th, for day 1 of the sale. And I will post that on Facebook or Instagram later today. You're not going to see this until Wednesday, but just so you know. Okay, so the next one is M. And I don't have my projects here with me. I'll have to pull it out. I can't show you a picture of this one, though. I know, I should have been more prepared, but in vlogging, you typically don't prepare, so It does begin with an M. Sort of. And it has to do with Jessie for another reason. This is Mini Alice in a Dolly Dream by Heaven and Earth Designs, Jasmine Beckett Griffith. Starts with an M because it's Mini Alice in a Dolly Dream. 2, Jessie has this project. She's actually my inspiration for wanting to stitch it, even though I'm not stitching it for myself because I don't really care much for it. I wanted to be able to stitch it. I thought it was pretty, but it's not something I would keep for myself. So I know somebody who would absolutely love and adore it, and I'm making it for them. I know, that's crazy to make a Heaven and Earth design for someone else because it takes so long, but... And I told her that. I said, you realize you're probably not going to get this project for like 10 years. She's like, it's okay. I follow you on Instagram. I'll just watch it as it comes alive, and then when I get it, there's that much more story to it. So, day 2, tonight, well, after midnight tonight, Mini Alice in a Dolly Dream. Let's see, D. I have Owl Dad by Brooks Books. I hadn't worked on it this month. Dad starts with a D. So there's that. Another thing about that, I'm going full Jessie on the explanations here today. So last year I went to the October Floss Tube Retreat in Austin. The reason I went to the retreat was because Jessie had talked about it, and I looked into it, and it was full, and I said, okay, well, darn, I really wish I could meet Jessie, but it's not going to happen. I mean, I even thought about, also it's just down the road, maybe I could just pop in and meet her, and not have to pay for the retreat and everything. But then openings became available, and I jumped on it. Turns out I got in because Jessie backed out. And then I was like, I really want to meet her, but it was still a great experience. So I wouldn't give that up. It was like, man. So the whole reason I was there was because of Jessie. And then I got Owl Dad as a freebie on the freebie table. So even more involved with her. So that was D. And then I got to meet her at StitchCon. So it all worked out like it was supposed to. But yeah. So then J S. What do I have for S? Oh, House of Stark. I am working on my House of Stark banner. Typically on the first week of August. Sorry about that. Got a phone call, and even though I'm recording on my laptop, it messes with my laptop. You know, all Apple products being connected and all. So, I'm going to have to do some editing because I have no idea where I was at. So, S, the 4th day. Oh, normally the first week of August I work on my stitch-alongs, but none of them really fit the S. I mean, maybe. But House of Stark did. And so I'm pushing off the Sal's for a day and working on House of Stark. Jessie is one of the main reasons I even watched Game of Thrones, because she talked about it. She talked about her, she has a couple dragon pieces that she works on, and she named them for each of the dragons from Game of Thrones. I had seen bits and pieces of Game of Thrones before she started really talking about it, because my husband did watch it, but, you know, not starting at the beginning, just seeing bits and pieces, I was like, ugh, why would anybody want to watch that? That looks horrible. All the killing and the blood and the, you know, but then, because I do what Jessie Marie does, I don't know, I feel silly. I went, started it, season 1, episode 1, I was like, I'm going to give it half a season. If I don't like it, then I'll stop. But I've got to give it an honest effort, right? Freaking love this show. Like, obsessively watched it for a while. And like I said, because my husband had already watched them all, well, all except the latest season at that point. You know, I'd watch an episode and then I'd pause it and then I'd go and I'd call him and I'd be like, oh my gosh, this just happened. And we would, like, talk all about this, that, and the other, and likes and dislikes, and I mean, it was awesome. And then when I got to the most recent season, he hadn't seen it yet, so then we got to watch a few of those episodes together, and then I actually got to see the last 2 episodes before he did, and they were so awesome that I made him watch them with me so I could watch him watching them, because I was like, his reaction is going to be priceless. It was amazing. So, shortly after that, I got the House of Stark banners by Lolita made on Etsy. She was having a buy one, get one free, so I got House of Stark and House of Targaryen. And so, House of Stark's what I'm going to be working on August 1st. S. Stark. And it's all Jesse's fault, once again. And then, the last day is open. So, you could work on whatever. It's my stitch along week. I'm going to pull out Guardians of Notre Dame. This is not one that Jessie is doing, although she's been very tempted. She's trying to stay away from the stitch alongs. We did work on Burstone Dragons together, sort of like we were both working on it and we would talk about them. But I'm telling you, I'm gonna stretch this in true Jessie fashion. I had never even heard of a mystery stitch along until she started, or really understood what it was. Maybe I had heard about it, but I kind of like in one ear, not the other. But she started talking about the Lakeside Needlecraft and Doreen Jones Fantasy Stitch Along in one of her videos. She showed the border, and I fell in love instantly. And I ran out and got it, and it was the only stitch along to this point, except for Guardians, up until this point, where I actually kept up with it, and I finished it 2 days after the very last piece was released. So, since she got me started on that stitch along, I ended up in other stitch alongs since then, and now I'm blaming her for the current one. So, and then it's the normal one I would have worked on that day. It's one I get to show her because since she opted out of doing it right now, she gets to live vicariously through me. So yeah, I just made an executive decision in that I'm going to post this tonight because Jessie is going to get a total kick out of this, and I feel like I need to send it. So, this video is now my Jessie Marie Does Stuff Turns 5 Sal plan video. And I will let y'all go now. Hope y'all join. There is a hashtag on Instagram. I don't think she made a Facebook page. And I will link it below. The hashtag is JMDSTurns5. Join in. Make sure you give her reasons why you're doing each project, because we all know that's what she's well known for. And I will turn this off and then back on to start my vlog for the week. Y'all have a great night. Stitching!